ready to proceed.
Good morning, everyone. Today is June 4th, 2026, and we are in the Magistrate session with Magistrate Curley presiding. Calling number 7 on today's list, Commonwealth versus Nicholas O'Malley on Indictment 2684 CR 00283. Can the parties please identify for the record, starting with the Commonwealth?
Good morning, Ian Pullenbaum for the Commonwealth.
Good morning.
John Kenny for the Commonwealth. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Magistrate. David Unetti for Nicholas O'Malley.
Good morning.
Good morning, Christina Stelzman for Nicholas O'Malley.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. O'Malley. The parties ready to proceed with the arraignment?
Yes,
Mr. Pullenbaum, does this incident involve any allegations of domestic violence?
it does not.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Mr. O'Malley, on May 20th, 2026, the grand jury for the County of Suffolk returned one indictment against you. Do you now wish to waive the formal reading of this indictment?
Yes.
And how do you wish to plead to indictment 001 on case 2684 CR 283, charging you with voluntary manslaughter, guilty or not guilty?
Mr. Pullenbaum, can you please lay out a statement of the allegations together with a request for bail, if any?
There's no request for cash bail. There will be a couple of conditions we're asking for and also a limited protective order. The allegations are summarized in more detail in the statement of the case, but essentially there was a report of a carjacking in Roxbury. Mr. O'Malley and one other officer located the car that had been stolen from somebody who was punched and ordered out of the car. They approached the car. They issued commands to the person to show his hands and unlock the car, turn off the engine. The person who was Mr. Stephenson King Jr. did show his hands, but did not unlock the car or open it. Mr. O'Malley made a comment about shooting Mr. King. At that moment, Mr. King backed a few feet into the unoccupied cruiser. And as he was finishing essentially a 3-point turn to drive away, Mr. O'Malley fired 3 shots into the driver window and door. All 3 of those shots hit Mr. King, and at least one of them caused his death. The Commonwealth's contention by the manslaughter charge is that Mr. O'Malley was not acting in reasonable defense of either himself, the other officer, or the general public, and that the shooting was excessive. And that's what brings us here.
And you're making a request for conditions. What are those?
The conditions are to continue the surrender of firearms that the Boston Police Department already accomplished, and simply for Mr. O'Malley himself to have or cause no contact with civilian witnesses in the case. There is also a request for a protective order, which we discussed with counsel yesterday.
Okay, I'll hear you on that.
I'll let them confirm, but it's basically, it doesn't impede the flow of information between counsel and defendant. It simply asks that civilian witness information, including names, not be put out in public pleadings or public disclosure, and that contact information for police officers involved also be protected. And again, that would be without prejudice, so that if there's any challenge to it, we can take it up on the next court date in the homicide session.
All right. Anything further for the Commonwealth?
Nothing.
Mr. Unetti for the defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. With regard to the protective order, at this time, we're not opposing it as long as it's without prejudice. We do not have any interest in having civilian witnesses' names or contact information being exposed, nor the contact information of police officers. We can deal with that issue at a later point in time. I would state that we, as you would expect, have a very different view of the evidence in this case. What Mr. Pullenbaum just recited to the court is a partial version of what happened, sanitized quite a bit. The evidence in this case, we believe, will show that a mother was in Roxbury picking up her daughter when a violent carjacker entered the car, punched her in the face, and ordered her out of the vehicle, stealing her car. When Officer O'Malley, doing his job, came upon that stolen vehicle, that carjacker, that violent man was still inside. Yes, he, after several commands, he showed his hands once, but then hid them again, and then ignored lawful order after lawful order after lawful order until he made the decision to smash that stolen car from the mother into a police cruiser. And then he showed he had no care in the world about who he endangered or who he hurt. as he was trying to escape a scene for the second time. He left Officer O'Malley with no choice. This will be a very highly contested case. We don't agree with the Commonwealth's decision in this case to charge it. We vehemently feel that this is not an appropriate charge, and we look forward to our day in court. With regard to the conditions of release, we're in agreement with those as well, as long as the no contact order exempts obviously the legal team, my investigator, anybody working on the case with us. My client has no interest in talking to any civilian witnesses directly.
And so Mr. Pallenbaum, obviously the condition is no contact with civilian witnesses. So clearly the legal team and their investigators not implicated in that condition.
Correct.
Right. So the defendant will be released in his own recognizance. The order that he surrender his firearm, it sounds like that's been abided by, but that shall remain in effect. He needs to have no contact directly or indirectly with the civilian witnesses in the matter. With respect to the Collins motion for a limited protective order, I'm going to endorse that as allowed without prejudice, subject to further judicial review at the next date. We're going to assign this, Madam Clerk, to courtroom 906. We're going to designate this as a track C case. And so, counsel, I'd like a date up in room 906 at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday or a Thursday.
Yes, we've conferred, and we've also talked with your clerk, and we're asking for July 23rd at 2 p.m.
Very well. July 23rd. We'll call that a pretrial conference, and the judge there will set the residue of the track. It's my understanding that the judge in 906 would like the parties on all of the matters up there to appear live, so that's what we'll assume for now. You can certainly reach out to the clerk up there if you want to propose something different. Right.
Excellent.
All right, clerk, you may recite the case.
As to Commonwealth versus Nicholas O'Malley, this case is designated a track C case assigned to courtroom 906. In respect to bail, you are released on your own personal recognizance. This is set without prejudice. Conditions of this release include no contact directly or indirectly with civilian witnesses and to surrender a firearm. Mr. O'Malley, you are advised if you're charged with a crime during your period of release on bail, your bail in this case may be revoked in accordance with Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 276, Section 58. And this case is continued by agreement to July 23rd, 2026 at 2 p.m. for a pretrial conference that will be in courtroom 906, and all parties should plan to appear live on that date.
So, Mr. Unetti, Mr. O'Malley needs to speak to probation before he leaves. He's going to sign a contract to abide by those conditions.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He had no regard for human life that day. He didn't care who was in front of him, who was in his path, or who got hurt. But Nick O'Malley did. We look forward to a jury hearing about a violent carjacker who punched a mother in the face while she was trying to pick up her daughter, who stole her car. It is his job to protect and serve the public and to make sure that his fellow officer is safe as well. And this man left him no choice. We're going to try this case by the book, and we're going to deal with the evidence in court and present our evidence in court.